Unburdened. Welcome to Unburdened, episode 11. I'm Derek. He's Gerald. That's Corbin. And it's literally one of those days. We were just talking about it a few seconds ago. It's not a bad day. It's just a lazy day. And usually you fight to get something done or be productive in those days. But today I just kind of want to wallow in it. I just want to sit in a room and watch anime today. That's where my mind is. But the thing is, the anime I've been watching has been providing some great release because I've teared up quite a few times watching it over the past couple hours. So that's a benefit. I guess it's time for me to cry again. Unburdened is a show about mental health and toxic masculinity and the unpacking and unloading of both in a way that will allow us to become free of them. I say that with the understanding that you can't actually be free of mental illnesses. Even with medication, all you're doing is really dampening the effects that it has on your psyche and on your emotions. But it does feel nice to be able to take off that coat, even if it's for a few hours. So that's what we hope to do with Unburdened is help you. We're like the sun in that parable, where the sun and the wind had a bet about who could make the guy take his coat off. And the wind decided that the way that he was going to convince the man to take his coat off was to blow as hard as he could to show his full power. And all that did was made the gentleman who was wearing the coat wrap himself even further in the coat to protect himself even more, to insulate himself. And the sun just shone. It didn't have to do anything more. And through the sun shining, the man became comfortable and convinced that it was a good time for him to take his coat off. And the sun won the bet. We're not the wind. We're kind of like the sun. We just want to convince you to free yourself of your problems for just a little while. They're going to come back. Troubles always find you. That's just the reality of the situation. I tell my kids, don't borrow trouble. Enough, it'll find you on its own to take other people's on. But it'll find you. The only rules are no homophobia, no transphobia, no racism, no misogyny. So 4 quick rules. And if you want to join us on the show, just email us at blackinunburdened@gmail.com. If you want to call in and leave a voicemail, the telephone number is 916. I don't even remember the telephone number right now. I'm so tired. 916-5.
Hold on.
I don't know. I really just don't know right now, fellas. So while Corbin looks that number up, because 916-572-9016.
I was gonna say I have it saved.
Yeah, I have it. That's it. I'm so happy with myself right now. I woke up just for that moment.
You're my hero. Some of us are still asleep.
I'm dead. I'm telling you, bro. I drove for a long time through mountains and through fog to be here to talk with y'all. Gerald, how are you doing today?
Well, yesterday was a great day, and today is a day. So, yeah.
Did Mama cook the breakfast with no hog?
No. I resolved yesterday to not be in my office at all. So I knew the snow was coming today. So we went outside and I mowed the backyard and the front yard because that's how I take care of leaves. I don't pick them up. It's too much work. So mowed the front of the backyard, while my wife actually winterized our gardens. The kids were out there with us. Like, we were literally outside all day long doing stuff. And then came back inside, and the kids hung out downstairs. And then me and my wife just sat in the same room and listened to Christmas jazz music and read until about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we went to sleep. So it was a really good day because I spent literally zero time in my office yesterday. It was all family time.
Let's see. A few things. One, that sounds like magic. Literally. Two, I saw the picture that your beautiful wife posted on Facebook of you reading a book while listening to the jazz music, and it just seemed really peaceful.
I didn't even know she posted that.
It was posted. I seen it while I was in Santa Barbara. Three, I do not know what this snow is that you talk about. I have yet to really see too much of snow, and I'm not really a fan of the idea of snow. Mm-hmm. And four, I'm glad. I'm glad that you were able to do that and that you were able to get everything winterized and taken care of and just set in place for everything to be good for you for the winter. I don't want to look at snow. That's like nasty.
I don't know if you can see the snow out there. Probably can't.
It's just white.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically life.
But fellas, Corbin, I apologize that I'm not asking you how your day is going, how your yesterday went. Actually, you know what? Manners.
Man, you're fine.
Corbin, how you doing?
A lot like you, man. I'm worn out. Had to take the boys back. We didn't leave at 3 like I normally do, but we left at 6:30. And then I thought I'd be back a couple hours before the show, and then wrecks and trucks and cops happened all the way back. It was smooth sailing, of course, up there. It was quick, no problem. Turn around, make the turn, going back, it was terrible. I mean, it was like a wreck every 50 miles, and of course, it was off the road, and it wasn't anything like major or anything like that, just a truck on the side of the road or something like that, and everybody has to see, so here we are, just cruising. But other than that, I'm good, man. Ready. Well, no, I'm not going to lie. This coming week at work is going to be pretty bad. It's going to be pretty rough, so I'm dreading this. I need Sunday to last forever. But that's how it
lasts forever. So, fellas, real quick, Fallon, who is in our chat and is a wonderful, 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 wonderful friend of the show. Big ups to her. Has posted about what we think about stealthing. And I just want to, for the folks who are out there in listener land who are unsure what stealthing is, let me tell you exactly what stealthing is. Stealthing is a horrendous act in which a man is about to have consensual sex with a significant other, and in the process of having or about to have sex, they put on a condom for safe sex. But then once they get the cover over them, whatever it may be, they remove the condom before they penetrate their significant other. It is thereby taking away the actual consent from their significant other, because their significant other consents to one form of sex, and this person is choosing to do a completely separate form of sex without their knowledge or approval. It's tremendously selfish. It's dangerous. It is a repugnant act is the best way for me to put it. And it's happening more and more as incels and just generally men as a whole figure that they have the right to go raw when they have sex because condoms don't feel good to them. I just want to say really quick that I never was a fan of condoms. I didn't feel like they gave me feeling. But you know what else I wasn't a fan of? STDs and children. So, until I found somebody that I knew that we would be spending the rest of our lives together, I was strapped up with the sideshow, and I wasn't taking it off for anybody. I was taught from a very young age that the best way to protect myself is to make sure that I have my protection on. So, like, and this isn't to change the subject, but like if somebody came up to me and said, "Don't worry, I have an IUD, I'm on the pill, whatever it may be," that's good. Then we're going to be doubly safe because I want a condom. So I just never understood the idea of taking that protection away from you just for a few seconds of pleasure, especially when it's not pleasure once the other person knows that that protection is no longer there. Once you do something like that, it to me is akin to assault because the other person doesn't know what's going on. And it is a act of power and force. So with that said, I know that this may be a new conversation, but Reddit has a public access manual instructing men on how to stealth significant others. And excuses are, i.e., lies that they be able to use if they got caught. Let's talk toxic masculinity, gentlemen. Let's talk stealthing.
I'm just too old, man. I mean, I'm like you. Back in my day, you wanted to wear a condom. It wasn't a thing to wear. I mean, I guess some people did. There always I knew that wouldn't or hated it. I think we all hated it, but we knew why. So going to, they say, "What's happening?" I can't get down.
Are you getting this, Derek?
Is yes, he I am. Corbin is up dying on the microphone. He's roboting out.
He is, and then he's kind of speeding up, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, Corbin, we cannot hear you in regular time. I don't know what's going on with that. However, so I'll jump in real quick. I had never heard of this until I just now asked the question in the chat. So I don't really have much of an opinion on it, other than obviously anything that you do that's not completely aware of the or the other person is not completely aware that this is going on, like that is a foul. Like, I don't really know what else to say about it other than what kind of piece of shit does something like that.
So what I'm on the Reddit page that Fallon had alluded to earlier with the rules and whatnot. And a young lady by the last name of Brodsky was doing a research on this, and she found communities of men discussing how to get away with stealthing and swapping tips. These are men who think that it is their right to spread their seed with every woman they have sex with. One specific jerk has published a comprehensive guide to committing the act. He reveals how his first experience of stealthing gave him a rush more intense than he could describe, and how he's over time developed techniques that made sure that he was able to stealth every time.
Okay.
I was talking with somebody day before yesterday, maybe, who was telling me about what they thought their rights were as men. And this was a teenager, a white teenager. And his belief was he had the right to be happy. He had the right to have a good and lasting relationship. And he had the right to have sex whenever he wanted, if he was in said relationship. And I was like, no. Actually, none of those things are really true, except maybe the right to be happy. Maybe. But the whole idea of you deserving to be in a relationship and the idea of you deserving to have sex whenever you want once you're in that relationship, those are two uh, power things that you cannot will into existence. And then once you cannot will them into existence, that's when you get upset. That's when you start looking at others like it's your fault that I'm not getting what I deserve. And I feel like stealthing is another I deserve this. I deserve to go raw. I deserve to be in the situation where I don't have to use a condom. But at the same time, you also are not thinking about the fact that while you're doing this, they probably have thought about this. The fact that you are committing a tremendous act of you're violating every trust in the book. You're assaulting somebody. You are possibly traumatizing them. And I just don't see the benefit of it. Like, other than it being power. That's the only thing I can think of is that you just want power in a place where it shouldn't be a power situation. Yes, there are fetishes, and I will not shame them where there's doms and submissives. There are those sort of relationships, but if this isn't that relationship, then you shouldn't be in a place where you want to have all the power. You should be in a relationship where you're give and take, where it's respect and caring, where it's just communication. And I don't know.
How you feel, Corbin? Because I mean, I didn't really have an opinion on it. It was just, obviously bad, jerk. That's pretty much the only words I could come up with. Like, I've never heard of this until the comment.
Yeah, me either. I hadn't heard of it, and I thought it was something else. I thought it was like stalking people on the internet or something like that, but I guess not. No, it's just, I stalk it up. I just chalk that up to stupidity.
Uh-oh.
So there's another comment from Lance. He says,
always those people.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you're
fine. Go ahead.
I thought you were done.
Yeah, you started roboting.
Lance said I had a girl in my class who argued that rape could not exist within a relationship. If you were in a relationship, you had already consented to sex.
No.
So
that's not how this works.
A high school girl who has that thought process around this.
So let's put it like this. My son comes up to me, and I'm playing a video game. And he asks if he can play the video game that I'm playing. And it's a one-player game. And I look over at him, and he looks so sad. And he really wants to play the game. He's been watching me play it. It's Spider-Man. So I'm like, yeah, sure, you can play the game. And I give up my controller, and I sit back and I watch him play. That doesn't give him the right that every time I'm in the room playing Spider-Man, he could just run in and just snatch it out of my hands and play it whenever he wants to. That's not how this works. You don't just get to assume consent because consent was there once. Consent is not a eternal binding contract to that person. You don't get to just have your way with it. And we're losing track of the way that it should be. Because other men are telling us the way that they want it to be. And that's not how it is. That's not how it should ever be. And the problem is, the more guys who are saying that, and the less guys who are saying what we're saying, like, honestly, fellas, I dig both of y'all. I do. But I'm shocked that y'all never heard about stealthing. I'm shocked that this conversation hasn't come up anywhere. Because it is a real thing, and it's happening in every facet of life. It is happening in every age group, rather, who are having sex. Somebody is stealthing. Somebody is trying this. And it's just becoming almost acceptable. People are coming up with lists for excuses. And it's scary to me. Because it's something that common sense says you should never do. and yet guys are like, I know common sense, but this doesn't appeal. This doesn't talk to me.
Well, yeah,
College
but
guys.
if you're
Oh, sorry. Go
if
for
you're
it.
not either looking for that information or in the circles with people who talk about stuff like that, like how are you gonna come across it? I know there's nothing in my daily consumption of information that
About
has
stealthing.
anything to do with other people's sex lives and incel or toxic masculinity or any of the things that those people do. Like that's not the type of information I seek out. It's not the type of information that is a part of my daily life. So if you're not around that stuff, it just doesn't exist, right? Like,
And you know what? You're absolutely right. And I apologize for making it sound like you two. I didn't mean to shame you by saying that at all. It was more of a, because of the circles that I'm in, it was a shock. It's like saying, you've never had steak before? I'm just shocked that you hadn't had steak. Because I've had steak. And it's you're absolutely right. I am more of a, all right, this is how I should have done it. And again, I apologize. I should have done like this. All right, fellas, y'all don't know about stealthing. Y'all got questions? If you do, I'm here. I got answers. I have a whole thing right here on Reddit about it. I have read articles about it. I've talked with people who have written stuff about it, and then we have Fallon, who is literally one of the most prolific writers I've ever known, and is like mind-numbingly brilliant. So we have answers to the questions. Y'all got questions?
I mean, if I got to be honest, no. Like, I honestly, I'm like, oh, what is this? And then you explained it, and I was like, oh, it's that? Well, those people are shitheads. Next subject. Like, this isn't something that I want to know more about or that I want to search down because I don't know. It doesn't interest me as something that's like, oh, I really need to know more about this particular form of shittiness, because to me it just ties right back to the same form of masculine shittiness that says, if I don't get what I want from a woman or society or whatever, I have the right to take it or to destroy who or whatever it is that I decide deserves my wrath. Like, to me, this is no different, only it's at a different scale, as the guys who say it's time for me to go kill someone because I didn't get what I wanted.
Mm.
It's the same. I don't see a difference between these things. It's literally just a matter of being the kid who kills the neighborhood cat and disembowels it, and then later on being a serial killer. Like, it's just another step of the same thing, and I have really no interest in trying to break down the psychology behind it, because to me it's all one. It's one thing.
Guys, I'm back. I'm gonna agree with Gerald mostly on this because I feel a lot like that. Like, when you're a shit person, you do shit things, and this is one of them. I just feel that, no, I had no idea what this was. Like I said, I thought it was something completely different. So now that I do know what it is shitty, and you should go to jail for it. I do understand that there is a huge population of shitty people on Earth, and they congregate. So that's one of the bad sides of the internet. Everybody can you'll find your group no matter what kind of person you are. And the fact that they have a manual, I'm not shocked. I mean, it's hard to shock me nowadays. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't understand the thought process behind it. I mean, I would like to sit down and where I'm not like Gerald in this, I am intrigued by, like, why you would want to do this. Like, other than just a rapey power thing. You told me no, so I'm going to do what I want. Other than that, I don't know why you would want to do that. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's troubling to me. it's troublesome to me that that there's another level, another way to just erode the trust that it wasn't there in the first place. But yeah, it's definitely something that is it's horrible. There's no other way to put it. It's horrible. So I was watching this show called My Hero Academia. And I keep seeing these things, these shows, these movies, whatever it may be, that are supposed to speak to one thing, but they strike me in a completely different way. And this show, one of the things that is striking me over and over again is that the primary character just keeps trying to be a hero. He wants to be a hero more than anything else in the world. He doesn't have any powers initially. And one of the things that he keeps doing is he keeps trying to be helpful to whoever needs him, even if they push him away. He keeps trying to convince them that he's their friend, that he supports them, that he loves them, that he cares for them, whatever it may be. And it's just interesting to see how people react to it. When he was a child, they pushed him away. He actually got bullied for it. And the person who bullied him as a child ends up going to the same school as him and is under the belief that this kid has been making fun of him his entire life. Like he's convinced the hero's been making fun of him his entire life and talking down to him and pitying him. And that's why he rejected his friendship. And that made me think about people who I've dealt with, who I have reached out to, and the relationship never went anywhere. I always thought about it as maybe maybe we just weren't compatible, something of that nature. But it may be something where I am going about it the wrong way. Maybe I overdid it to where I seemed like I was doing it out of pity or something of that nature. And it really just made me think. I have nothing to add on to that. I just wanted to say that I've been thinking about that a lot, because a lot of the movies and shows that I've seen recently keep striking me from a mental health angle, and I am feeling some sort of way about every time that I experience something that strikes me in a show that shouldn't be striking me at all for anything more than just entertainment.
I think we lost Corbin again. So I had a question about that. When you're going through, because you talked a lot about the winter months, and I know, having lived out there in Northern California, like as soon as November hits, there's the positive side of everything in the Sac Valley turns green because suddenly you have rain, but then it's like foggy for 4 months straight. And so you go from just nothing but 100 degrees and sunny every day to fog and rain every day for 4 months. Now, moving from that to here in Nebraska, we get all 4 seasons, but like it started snowing October 14th this year, and it'll probably snow into mid-April. So it's like 6 months of everything just being, snow is not pretty. After it falls, the roads get dirty. It turns into nasty, mucky, mud, ugly crap. The salt and the crap makes your car look crappy, and it's just everything is just dreary for 6 months. It's just
you got to watch out for that black ice, man.
We don't have that here.
You don't have black ice
out. No, yeah, we just have flat out snow. But when you are in that time period and it's like everything that you see is reminding you of some type of a feeling or emotion that you're having, like do you try to embrace it? Do you try to avoid it? Like, what's the coping mechanism for basically every piece of media that you come across kind of reminds you of where you are right now? How do you work with that?
When you're being chased by 15 demons, the only way to get away from them is to run. And so I am just trying to stay ahead of them. I have my happy light, which is sitting right next to me, a Verilux, which is supposed to simulate the rays of the sun. And you're supposed to use that in the winter months. It's supposed to provide a different type of warmth. And I'm supposed to also be taking vitamin D, which I don't take enough of. But we all have coping mechanisms, and the one that I have that doesn't work, but at the same time is something that I can't really stop doing it. I'm a picker. I'm a poker. I'm a prodder. And I'm not talking about like activity or something like that. I'm talking about pain. I like to cause myself pain in the winter months. In my mind, it helps me to stay focused. So if there's a bump on my arm, I'm gonna mess with it. If there's a I'm not a cutter or anything like that, but I will scratch myself deeply until I feel pain or I bleed. Like I have scars all over my back and on my arms and everything from doing it. If I have a bump on my arm, if I have a blackhead, if I have anything, I will poke and prod at it until it either pops and bleeds or it just is bruised and I can't touch it anymore. And if I can't touch it anymore, then I'll just let it go back to normal. I'll let it heal, and then I'm right back at it again the next day. I don't know when that started. I just know that I've always had, like the people who have the fascinations with cysts popping and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's me, except I do it even when there's nothing there. Like I will create something out of nothing. And that's how I cope. Because I still have problems with really opening up to my beloved wife about everything that I'm going through. Because I don't want to bring her into it. I am almost certain that she does not need to know everything I'm going through because it's not healthy for her to be burdened with my situations, with my issues. I still haven't found a therapist yet. I had put out feelers for a therapist, but none came. And I still don't trust talking with friends as much as I should, because even though I have y'all and I have the fellas from the Dream Team and I have Shantae with Single Simulcast, I also had two friends who went on a podcast and made fun of me and said that I was taking advantage of them for emotional labor. So I don't really trust people like that anymore. So I find my own coping mechanisms, and the one that works best for me is literally hurting myself in a way that won't hurt anybody else. I will not kill myself. I don't have any suicidal ideations. I don't. I think about it sometimes, but I don't follow through with any of it. It's just a thought, like, and then I just try and like move on. I don't harm others. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I read, play video games, podcasts, talk to my wife, and I cut myself. I guess I could just be honest about that because I'm still doing something that's scarring. It's just I'm not doing it with a knife or something like that. And I'm sure that in a lot of situations it will build up to that. But right now, I just don't need to, you know. But it's strange. Winter is such a real thing. And people now think about that line from Game of Thrones when they say it, but winter it's a killer. Like sitting there Thanksgiving week and you want to reach out and you want to be engaged and you want to be all this stuff, but I have the wonderful cocktail of depression, anxiety, and I'm an introvert, which means I don't really like being around people that much. But I need to be around people in order to get out and be active and just live my life. I need to be around people, but I don't like being around people for long hours, and I don't like being around loud people at all. I don't. If it gets too loud, I get overwhelmed, and I need to get out of there. So Thanksgiving, there was a whole lot of activity and a whole lot of loudness, and it was great for like 10 minutes, and then I had to go put myself in a back room and lay down and go to sleep. And so I miss a lot. And I'll never get those moments back. But, you know, we do what we have to do in order to cope with what we have. I don't know if I even answered your question, Gerald, to be honest with you. But that's where I'm at. And you know what? Fallon said that she withholds and withdraws her emotions. And she did it because, again, men have always been under the belief that withholding emotions and just working through it is like a admirable way to live life. I always withhold my emotions because I just think people don't care. Or people don't need to be bothered with my situations. And when I do open up and tell folks about my situation or what's bothering me or what's angering me or what's making me sad or what's on my mind or something like that, I've done it 4 times over the past 3 years, and I've lost 3 groups of friends over doing it. One group said I was holding them emotionally hostage. One group again said that they were not my that I was using black women for emotional labor, and that I need to get a therapist. And then one group was just like, we're not here for that. Like, basically, we appreciate when you listen to us, but we didn't sign up for this contract, so we're just going to go that away. So it's weird. Like, you want to open up, but you don't trust it. You don't trust the results of opening up. I don't ever trust the results of opening up. I say open up, but I'm still working with that. I don't trust people. I love people, but I don't like people, and I don't trust people. And I don't know what the next step is. Like, my anxiety really breaks me down once I open up. Like, how is this going to come back and kill me? Now that I've told somebody, how are they going to use this against me? So that's how I'm coping with winter.
Okay.
I remember when you first told me that, gosh, that was what, 2011, 2010? And then I started researching it, and I would say I talked to you most. I don't really remember talking to you too much in the summertime or the spring ever. But I talk to you most in the winter because when it's cold around here, when the holidays come around, that's when I kind of reach out just to check on you. I mean, I know I can't do anything, but other than, talk. But I will say since then, since you told me, because, again, me and my little world, I didn't know seasons affected people like that. I didn't. And so I started reading about it. And like I said, if you could check all the times that we've talked, text, and all that stuff, it's almost never in the spring or summer. It's always in the winter. That's it. I mean, you're on my mind. Let's put it. I won't say like you're some basket case that I worry about, but you are on my mind, and I want you to know that you can talk to me. You need to reach out. You can reach out. I am a lot like you in that regard. That I don't. I feel like opening up is just a way to let somebody in to figure out how to just destroy me. But I have, over the last maybe 3 to 4 years, really started opening up, and I got to get it out. I don't really care what you do with it, but I have to get it out. And that's kind of the way I look at it. I don't know if that helps or not, but that's how I cope.
No, it helps a lot. And it's strange. Like, one thing that I am able to really say that I do that Gerald's actually helped me out with this without even knowing it. Is I don't say no. Like when when it's winter, I won't say no to people because I need to help people. It is like I need to be useful, because if I'm not useful, then I feel useless. There's no in between. There's no gray area. Either I'm useful and I need to be here, or I'm useless and why am I here? There's no other option. So Gerald has been talking about the N word, saying no. And that word is so scary to me. Saying it in any setting is just horrifying to me, because my fear is that when I need to help somebody, because again, it's not when they need my help, it is when I need to help somebody. I literally reach out to save myself as well as them, but mostly me, let's be honest. If I say no that one time, then the next time they may not need my help, and what do I do then? These are the things that I worry about. And that's why I don't say no. Gerald, you're awful quiet. What's up?
Nothing really. I was just thinking about what you were saying and all the no's. This is the second week in a row I've said no to my podcast. Last week I had a guest on and we didn't finish their interview. And I was like, well, I'm not putting out a half an interview, so I'll just shoot a solo episode. And then I was like, no, I need to work on this online course. So I literally just did like 5 minutes and said, yeah, I'm not doing a show this week. Here's a replay. And I put that out. And then this week, the audio was jacked up on the interview I did. And I was like, all right, it'll take me too long to fix this. I'm still working on my online course. I shot a quick 20-minute, how to or whatever. And I put that out in about maybe an hour. Normally I put at least 5 to 6 hours in the production of my podcast with show notes and all this other stuff. And it's just like, no, I'm working on something right now that is for me and my family, and giving all of my time away or putting all my time into this thing that I'm producing for a good reason, is for Black people and the Black economic community and all this stuff. But I mean, in all honesty, it's a time suck. It's an energy suck. I rarely ever get any feedback on it, and it costs me money. And, right now that's my no, is I'm going to put the effort into it that's required to get a piece of quality content out, but I'm not trying to go above and beyond because I have other things to build. And I've also been saying no to people who have been calling for my time and calling for my help, like you were saying. Can you teach me how to do this? Can you do that? And I'm just like, no, because I don't have the time. And I think the concern you have of, well, then they'll just stop reaching out to me. If your anxiety is based around people either not wanting you or not valuing you unless you can help them, I can totally see that. My problems are not that. My problem is I feel like I have things, I have access, I have privilege, I've gotten a lot of things that I did not earn. I walked onto the earth in a position that a lot of people weren't in, and I've gotten access and learned things that weren't of my own doing. And so I feel obligated to give back and to give to people. Not because I want them to like me. I could not care less. Me and humans, we don't get down like that. I'm good without them most times, like, in all honesty. But I feel like it's my obligation to give to people, not because I want them to like me, but because that's what I feel like I was put here to do. And I've reached my giving limit of I'm giving everything to all the people who are not family. And I'm taking all of that time and energy away from my family, who deserves to be given to by me more than anybody else. And so I've had to come to the point of saying, who are you saying no to? And you have to recognize, this is what I've recognized, is that when I'm saying yes to all of these other people, I am inherently saying no to myself and my family. And so you can't avoid saying no, but you have to recognize that you have to intentionally say no rather than accidentally saying no to the people who you really should be saying yes to.
So either way you look at it, you're either saying no vocally to one group or you're saying no to the other by your actions.
Right. Which takes us back to yesterday. And the intention of even when I'm building something for us, like I'm working on this online course, and I've been putting a lot of time. I mean, I've been spending a lot of time in my office, like days upon days. And yesterday I could have done the same, but I said no to that. And I said yes to, I'm going to do the things to take care of my house and my household that I need. And by me, literally just the act of me putting my jeans on and going outside to start working on the lawn, I think like 2 minutes later, I came back in and I just said to my wife, it's like, hey, at some point, could I get the kids out here to move these leaves over into the garden so we can get that knocked out? And she said, yeah, let's finish with breakfast and then we'll all come out. And then we literally spent the entire day outside just doing lawn stuff. And the kids are skipping back and forth up and down the lawn. They're moving leaves. They're getting the garden together. And it was just a matter of me kind of taking that leadership role of saying, not today. I'm not saying no to the family today. I'm saying no to the work that I should be doing, but I can do that work some other time. Today, I'm going to say yes to spending time with my family and taking care of my house. And that turned into an entire awesome day. Because I intentionally said yes to the people who I need to say yes to more. And sometimes that's hard to do because we just assume, oh, they get it. They'll be there. And sure, they do get it and they will be there. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean something. It doesn't mean a lot when you intentionally say, I'm saying no to everybody else. I'm saying yes to you right now.
Corbin?
I was just listening to Gerald, man. I feel like I need to bring a notepad every time you speak, man. That's what I feel like. I need to write some of this stuff down because I do feel the same way. The biggest thing, like I would always say, is saying no to myself because I don't really know why, but I will overextend everything. And in this new position at my job, that's something I said, okay, I am not going to just be like, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. My boss reaches out to me 24/7, 365 now. And he asked me to do things like last night. It was the last day with my boys. We went ghost hunting. And so he's like, hey, can you handle this customer? This is like 6:30 or something like that. We're closed. And I'm like, yes, sir. I'll get it done first thing tomorrow. But today I'm not. And so I just called her on my way back. I mean, he's not the type of person that it's a demand that he's putting on me. But at the same time, I always felt like I needed to deal with whatever you give me to deal with. I need to deal with it right then. And that's not something that I feel has been very helpful to me. So I'm dealing with it in the appropriate time. I'm not dropping everything and just dealing with this situation just to come back to it later. First of all, I wasn't going to tell my boys that. But second of all, it's just, it's not healthy. And so I've been saying no to that. That's it.
There are things beeping. So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I've taken the practice of doing this in work as well, especially working with clients. You know, we have this habit of somebody asks us for something, and we tell them when we can have it done for them. When a lot of times you could just be like, when do you need to have that from me? And sometimes the answer will be like, oh, you can get it to me in 2 weeks. And you're sitting here like, oh, I got to get this done by the end of the day tomorrow, because you're putting that on your head, right? Like you're setting that expectation saying my value is based in how quickly and accurately I can get something done. And so the expectation is when somebody asks me for something, I'm going to give them the fastest possible deadline that I could get that done in. When if you just ask the question, when do you need to have that? They might be, I need it by the end of the month. Great. Now you have a priority list. Now you have a place to actually put it in your list of things to do. And the stress isn't there. And it's a matter of just asking the question instead of immediately being the person who says, I'm going to show you how quickly I can get this done.
Yes.
Which is really quick. I mean, I'm super fast at getting it done. I'm like the best. I'm so tired. And it's not it's like all levels of just being tired, but
you sound mentally worn out.
I'm drained, dog. Like seriously. And it all starts over again tomorrow. Season starts back up for basketball. That'll be me being useful again. AAU starts back up. Practices on Tuesday. That'll be me being useful again. It's like I know the right things to do. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I just keep falling back into the same old ruts because they're safe. And I'm comfortable with safety. I think that's really it. I'm comfortable with the idea of being safe. I don't have one this week. I don't have a closeout because I'm not unburdened. I'm still feeling very much encumbered with the idea of expectations and with just overall the idea that no matter what, somebody's going to be let down. And I think that that's the difference between you and I, Gerald. One of the differences is that I can't stop thinking about the word no as I'm going to let you down now. And maybe it's because when I was growing up, when you said no to people, their response was pretty much, I'm going to remember that. The sucking and gnashing of teeth.
Yeah, remember it. Like,
write it down, take a picture.
That's fine. Like if you're the type of person who remembers every time somebody told you no, and you're gonna try to find a way to use it against them later, why the hell would I want to tell you yes to anything? Why would I want to have anything to do with you? I want you to know that you never, ever, ever need to come ask me for anything. We can stay as far away from each other as possible. People who care about your well-being, they will understand when the answer needs to be no. And I take you back to, if you see no as disappointing someone, and that, in your words, is when you say no, you're saying I'm going to disappoint you now, then think about that in the context of, what are you saying when you implicitly say no to the family because you're explicitly saying yes to somebody who really doesn't matter? That means you're implicitly saying no and saying, I'm going to disappoint you now to the family. So it is like, you can't avoid the no, and you don't have unlimited time. Time is the only thing that you're never going to be able to get more of. And so you have to make a decision on who and what gets the time, because the money and everything else can be replenished. But the time ain't coming back. So since you don't have one for this week, I will inject an action plan request. What are you going to do this week to intentionally say no to someone who should receive a no?
And that's how you get unburdened.
No, I really mean it. Like,
No,
I want to hear an action plan.
Oops.
The opportunities. I'm sure there's going to be something that's going to come up at work where they're going to ask me to do something. Especially, unfortunately, with the fires that have been going on in Northern and Southern California, they need a lot of help with procuring people to staff the logistics center and things of that nature. Probably end up saying no to them because they're going to ask, and I don't want to, because I don't want to help. I don't want to say no. I'm looking forward to saying no because I don't want to do it. It's a 12-hour shift, and the money's good, but I have other things that I need to do. So that'll be the no that'll happen this week. And I will let you know how they deal with it. If I'm podcasting a lot more, you'll know exactly how they deal with it.
That's cool. That's fair enough. We'll start with that no, but that's a no you want to say. I mean, you already spend a great deal of time hanging out with the family and going out and doing things, so it's not like that's a danger or anything like that. But I think I would challenge you maybe next week to come back and be like, I said no to something I kind of wanted to say yes to, but I decided to do something else instead. And just let that be a thing. If you want, I will call you this week so you can tell me no to something.
No, but I'd love for you to call me this week.
Boom.
Just because.
Fair enough.
I miss y'all guys.
No, I got you in the schedule now. Call you Wednesday.
I'll look forward to it.
On your lunch, around lunchtime of your time. A little 2 my time.
You know what? I look forward to it. Either way. Yeah, lunch is perfect.
And when you get calls from your boys while you're going through the unfun winter seasonal months, that's how you get unburdened?
Not really, but okay.
Oh man, we keep trying.
I know. Fellas, it's always a beautiful time talking with y'all. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you both. Listeners, again, if you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, telephone number is 916-572-9016. We have a page on Facebook for Unburdened. Just type in Unburdened. Black and Unburdened, I think it is. Yeah, it's Black and Unburdened, which is also the email address. blackandunburdened@gmail.com is the email address. Leave thoughts, leave reviews, whatever you want. Share the show, things of that nature. We appreciate y'all listening. We appreciate y'all bringing us things that we need to talk about. And Gerald can be found where?
Oh, that's changing soon. But you can always find me at GWJONESII on all the socials. That's the best place to get in touch with me. GWJONESII.
And what's your show called?
It's called Buy Black, the Voice of Black Business.
What's it
Now,
about?
You flipping it around on me, huh? You're going to make me talk about it. Yeah, so Buy Black, the Voice of Black Business podcast is, interview Black business owners and entrepreneurs to share their knowledge and experience with the community and encourage other entrepreneurs and business owners to, grow their businesses so we can eventually take ownership of the Black economy. So that's the podcast.
All right. And Corbin, where can you be found at?
I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at the State of Corbin, and the website stateofcorbin.com. So I've rededicated myself, thanks to Gerald, and come up with my action plan for the next 3 months to get everything out the way I want it to. Because I've found that I've been putting myself on the back burner more so than anything else, and that's going to stop. So that's where you can find me. All kinds of stuff coming out here in the next 2-3 weeks, and we'll just take it from there.
Okay. And you can find Single Simulcast, the Dream Team, Sin and Solace, Storytellers, Unburdened, 20 Minutes, The Kitchen Sink. All of them are available on Spotify. Check us out on Spotify. Let us know what you think. Let other people know about us on Spotify. I wonder if you can make a playlist of podcasts and then just share it with people. That would be dope. I have to look into that. We have a Patreon page at patreon.com/single simulcast. We have a PayPal page, which is PayPal.me/single simulcast. The patrons that we currently have, I am so grateful. Your money definitely goes to basically keep these shows up and running. And PayPal money goes towards getting Shantae. Right now, I think she is due for another thing of Starburst. It's a whole thing. Flavored. The red ones. So if you choose to donate to either, we greatly appreciate it. If you just want to call in to talk, we appreciate it. Again, we'd love to have you on the show. If you don't want to use your name, we could always use a pseudonym. We don't have to use video when we record with you. But more than anything else, we're just grateful. I'm grateful, and I know the fellas are grateful for the opportunities that we get to talk with each and every one of y'all. So with all that being said, I am Derek. That's Corbin, and that's Gerald. And y'all be good. We'll talk to you later. Peace.
And the live is still up.